Welcome back to the daily on the old Firebird. We are, this is Monday. I didn't do anything yesterday on this car. I did some research on vintage air. And what we're attempting to do, we've got to do a heater core, which means we've got to take center console and the dash basically has to come out of this car to get to the heater box, which is behind the firewall. There's one of the heater hoses where it comes out there. You basically have to take this inner fender liner out to get to the heater hoses, and this customer does not want this heater box on the firewall anymore, or this evap box, excuse me. So he wants to try to declutter some of this mess under the hood when we put the LS3 in, try to just modernize this car a little bit. So what we decided to do, after doing a little bit of digging, I've never done a vintage air kit before, and I know other people that have, and I know that the kits are pretty nice. So basically what you get is a heater core, an evaporator, and a blower motor all in a contained box that goes right where the heater box would go, up under the dash. They send you a little bit of a smaller glove box insert, because it takes a little more room behind the glove box, and the factory one's too deep. So they give you a glove box, which is no big deal. You get, on the full kit, you get a condenser, which this condenser was working fine, but it's probably the original, and it's a R12. It's set up for the R12. I don't know if there's a difference between the R12 and the 134s, but we would have to, if we put the LS3 in here, we would have to adapt, which I'd already converted this just, with fittings to 134. I could just put 134 gas in this system, but we're eliminating all this bulkiness, all these AC lines that run down the fender liner, fender well, whatever you want to call it. And so the new kit, all the stuff will run where the heater, where the blower motor is right there, will be eliminated too. So all the lines will come down through here, and the dryer, which is here, evaporator dryer, will be mounted on the condenser on the new one. So that will simplify that. We'll get rid of this bulky box. This will be totally gone. It comes with a new plate from the inside to cover up the hole that's going to be there on the firewall. So it'll be plated from the inside. You can come up with something fancy on the outside if you really want to. But that's, it's going to come with a new, it's all going to be electronic too, which is a good thing. This system runs on vacuum, and it also runs on cables, like a steel cable. When you're adjusting the, I believe, the hot to cold, it's got a steel cable that runs down to the heater box and stuff like that. So that'll get rid of all that. We'll have a new control panel. It'll have, I'll have to wire it up, but it'll be, we got an LS3 going in, totally brand new engine. We'll have a totally retrofitted 134 system, and getting rid of all this bulkiness right here. So it's going to look better. It's going to operate better. And they say that the blower motor is a lot stronger than the factory one too, so you get a lot more airflow. The factory controls won't be much different at all. It has a panel that goes right in there that is electronic, but it still has the sliders, but it's it just replaces that panel, fits right in the same spot. So there won't be really any difference. It has ductwork that hooks up to the factory ducts. So this one is a factory air car. So you have the defrost vents, and you have the dash vents, and then you have the crotch vent there. I don't know if there's one on this side or not. If there is, I don't see it. It's going to be a lot more work for me, but I've got to take that heater box out from underneath the dash anyway. So it's going to require me to wire up some more stuff, but I've got to put in the harness for the engine and the ECU and all that. And we've got to come up with, we would have had to come up with AC lines. I mean, heater lines are not that big of a deal, but instead of trying to customize the factory stuff, it's just ugly and in the way. These boxes, I hate these GM boxes. They've always been a thorn in my side. When you're trying to do headers or anything on the side of the engine, these things just seem to be always in the way. Started to kind of go through my parts boxes. This is all the ECU stuff, I believe, mainly for the LS3, which we've kind of went over in a previous video. This may be something different, but in this box, we've got a whole bunch of stuff, and we'll be going over this shortly. I did get the headers. We've got stainless steel headers that came in a damaged box. Hopefully the headers aren't damaged. I haven't popped those out yet. But I was going over the invoice, and I noticed that it said the gas tank was for a 67 through 69 Camaro Firebird. And I was like, what? I didn't order it for 67 through 69? Immediately you go to blaming somebody, you know. It's bright right here. You start blaming, thinking about, oh, change my order and all that stuff. But no, I screwed up. I looked the wrong part number up. I guess I just looked at Pontiac Firebird, and I'd looked at so many parts that day, I just didn't get the year model right. And so I'm about to load this stuff up and take it to the post office and try to get this returned or get it exchanged. They had another kit for this car in stock, so we're putting this, we're taking the factory tank out, putting a new tank in with in-tank fuel pump to drive the fuel injection for the LS3, and we'll run a Corvette style filter that has the return and pressure regulator, or not return, it returns to the tank, so we don't have to run two lines all the way to the motor. We just run two lines in and out to the filter, which will probably be, you know, somewhere around, I don't know exactly how I'm going to lay it out yet, but somewhere, you know, the tank will be under the trunk, regulator will be somewhere close by, and the return will just go right back to the tank. So we don't have to run so much line all the way to the front of the car. You don't have to go all the way to the front with just one line to the rail. So that'll simplify things there. This is a big project, especially to do by myself, trying to juggle other people wanting to get in here and have me fix their stuff too. So we're gonna try to stay on this daily. Sucks that my fuel tank wasn't right, because I was about to do the fuel tank instead of fooling with this. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call, we had already ordered this Locar kit to do all our accessories, and I'm not going to open these boxes yet, but so we got an accessory kit that mounts everything vintage style, and the Vintage Air kit comes with an AC compressor as well. So I've got to call them and see if we can either delete the AC compressor off that deal and use this Locar one, or do we need to try to do something with this? Maybe hopefully we don't have to return this kit, but if we do, then we'll return it and get one that doesn't have an AC compressor, so we don't end up with two AC compressors. If not, then we'll just try to sell an AC compressor if we end up stuck with one. So hopefully we'll get that figured out, and lots of little stuff to juggle and figure out, and then we got to wire it all up. I'll probably end up having to add a fuse panel or something. There was lots of stuff ran to this this starter solenoid deal before. We'll probably redo that. I'm not sure what this is. I don't know if the thing's got a hot stereo in it or not. I haven't. I guess it does. I see a big speaker in the deck lid, so I guess that's all stereo stuff. We're gonna get that transmission out possibly later today, and I got to cut the bell housing off of it. We got a ultra bell for it, so we will be cutting that off and bolting on the new ultra bell. That thing's been dripping. Hopefully it's not a leaky transmission now. It's been sitting for a couple of years, so hopefully the seals hadn't dried up on it and I won't have to be fooling with resealing that transmission, but I may have to. I don't know. What else is there? I think that's it. I think I'm going to try to get this tank dropped off right now so we can go ahead and get those wheels in motion on getting me the right gas tank for this car. I hate when I order wrong parts and I can't blame it on somebody. That's part of it. You know, we got a lot of parts to go over here. I just really don't want to unbox too much. I'm going to unbox everything, make sure everything's right, but I don't want to open too many boxes without knowing that I need to return them yet. I caught the gas tank thing on the invoice. It said 67 through 69 on the ticket, and I was like, wait a minute, that's wrong. So I wish I would have caught that before I hit the order button like a month ago. But hopefully it won't take but about a week, and I mean, we got time. It's not like I'm going to get this car done in a week. This car's going to be here. This will probably be going on for several weeks, if not a month. Hopefully we can get a lot of progress done, stay motivated. If I can stay motivated and keep my other customers happy, I need some help is what I need. I need some help in here. I need one good mechanic that I could keep busy all the time, where I could keep juggling customers, paperwork, ordering parts, business end of things. There's always something to deal with the business side. I'd pretty much shut this business down, and it is taken back off under my feet here without me really even trying. So I guess I'm going to run with it because I'm not doing anything else right now. I guess we'll build this little business back up where it was. I mean, I had a full Tilt Boogie business for years. 9 years we had a retail shop with I had up to like 6 employees at one time. That's a lot to deal with, and it can get very stressful. I don't want to build anything back up that high right now, at least. But you can stay busy in a shop this size with 2 guys and do a good amount of work. If you have a good team, you can knock a lot of work out with 2 dudes. So, or a dude and a chick that knows how to work on cars really good. I don't know. I know they're out there. They are out there, and I think that's awesome as well. I follow a few on Instagram and TikTok and a couple other places that I've been looking at, trying to push this little YouTube channel around on different platforms and run into all kinds of interesting folks that are working on cars. But anyway, I think I'm gonna have to find some help if I'm gonna try to keep everybody happy, because it's getting to where I'm just getting overloaded here. I'm gonna get this stuff returned, and then maybe we'll go through some of these parts. We'll talk about some of that for this daily edition of the TA LS3 swap. All right, it's going to wrap this one up. There wasn't much to it. We got a whole bunch of nothing done today on the TA, other than did some research on the vintage air kit, and had to send the gas tank back and the fuel pump and all that stuff, get the other one, the right one, coming. And well, that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Sometimes you don't get a whole lot done, but sitting on the phone and the computer half the day, picking away at parts and whatnot. So did talk to the people from Vintage Air, and we are going to be able to get a Vintage Air kit without the compressor, since we already have the compressor with the Lokar kit. So we have the compressor and the bracketry in that box. We've got our Speed Engineering headers in this box. Of course, we got LS3. all the wiring for the LS3. I'm upgrading the fuel pump on this one. The one that comes with the tank kit that we bought had some bad reviews, so we're going to put a good pump in it. We've got Brian Tooley Racing flex plate adapter kit. What do we got here? Engine mounts, starter, GM starter. This is our regulator. The regulator we use. It's got one in, one return, one feed to the motor. Got some starter bolts. And here got the bell housing adapter. It'll bolt on to the front of the LS3. Well, the back of the LS3 and the front of the Turbo 350, I mean. So we'll cut the bell housing off. And that will bolt on where the front pump goes on the Turbo 350. And that'll give us nice durable bell housing and the right bolt pattern without losing any. I have to put a bunch of shims and crap in to fill in the gaps between the converter and the flywheel or flex plate and all that stuff, so that'll be done right. Not sure what I'm going to do with the kickdown cable, the detent cable for the Turbo 350. You can run these without them as far as I know, because we don't have a carburetor, we don't have a throttle body or anything like that to hook it to, because this is a drive-by-wire deal. It's just electronic, no cable. That's about it. It's maybe we'll get some actual work done on this thing tomorrow. Haven't heard back from the owner yet to see if he's 100% pulling the trigger on the vintage air kit, but if he is, we'll go ahead and get that ordered tomorrow. And I'll go ahead and get this thing taken apart. I'll pop all this off. I'll get the dash out. I'll take the passenger seat out and the center console, so I can get that heater box out, and I'll just have it get this thing good and prepped. I'll get it up in the air, get the transmission out, get the gas tank out, and we'll pop some new motor mounts on the frame while we got a chance here. We redid all the suspension bushings last time we put a motor in this thing about 10 years ago, and it really doesn't have that many miles on it. So we're going to leave that stuff alone. I'll get the fuel lines out of here, and hopefully get that transmission doctored up where we can get that bell housing on and get that back in, and we'll start putting a motor in this thing. Once that it just depends on what I'm waiting on. If the vintage air kit comes fast, we'll go ahead and finish that. If not, I'll go ahead and put the motor in it, put the engine in it, and start doing the wiring harness and stuff like that. We got a lot of work to do. All right, tune back. That's the end of this daily update on the LS3 engine swap conversion. Thanks for tuning in. Come back and see me for the next one.